Heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy specializes in a customized designed academic approach tailored to meet the needs of our families. Our lower division prepares students with the necessary foundation to build excellence. Our middle division provides students with over 15 course offerings, providing them with opportunities to explore their talents and gifts. Our upper division provides personalized academic journeys, allowing them to achieve their dreams. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us, where every path leads to purpose.
National headlines and the local stories you care about. WLBB, Carrollton, News Talk, 1330, FM 106.3.
Good morning. Welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Gradick, your host. Delighted to be with you. I've been with you. This is my third time this week, so it's been a lot of fun. We're very pleased to have in studio weather tracker Kevin Hemphill. We've got 7 radio stations, and Mr. Hemphill is on all 7. And he's the only one we have on staff that has that claim to fame, if you want to call it that. The first severe weather event of every year tends to bring about the most attention. And then we kind of get adjusted to, okay, winter's actually here. Well, the first severe weather event is upon us, and that's why we brought in Kevin to kind of give us the latest and greatest of what we can expect this weekend. So I'm not going to be doing as much talking as I normally do. So Kevin, if you would, take it away. What's the latest in terms of what we can expect this weekend?
Well, first of all, let me go ahead and mention, first of all, thanks for having me this morning. Let me mention first that most of our listening areas under a winter storm watch from 6 p.m. Saturday evening to 6 a.m. Monday morning. And what that is for the potential for some freezing rain to be mixed in with rain over the weekend. Now, models have been going back and forth. The weather models have been very, very shifty with this.
Can I interrupt? Because yes. We hear this term now more often than we ever have before, model. What the heck is a model?
You know what? I anticipated you asking that question today.
Okay, good. Well, everybody pretty well. Open book, I guess.
So a weather model, what that is it's basically it's a simplified term for numerical weather prediction. What that does is it takes scientific and mathematical formulas along with the current state of the atmosphere, and it puts those things together to actually predict what is the atmosphere going to do in the future, in whether it be 6 hours from then, whether it be a day from then, 3 days, 5 days, whatever.
Okay, so go ahead. I didn't mean to.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
So these computers these supercomputers up in Maryland, they're processing all this data, and it comes in with different data points that get pushed into this information, that get fed in and ingested. And then sometimes, and I'll explain this situation here because this is a prime example of it. There are certain things that in the atmosphere that have to be parameterized. In other words, they have to be kind of simulated by these formulas, but they're not exactly quite really grabbing a hold of what they are. And that's kind of the situation that we find ourselves in today with this particular forecast. Is one of the things that these models struggle with is the cold air damming effect, or the cold wedge that comes down on the eastern side of the Appalachians. And that's kind of what is kind of made a little bit more of this weather forecast so tricky, and why it's kind of fluctuated so much, is that these weather models, which is basically the result of that numerical weather prediction, that's what they've been struggling with, is trying to figure out where exactly is that cold air wedge going to set up.
Okay.
So we're going to take a look a little bit at those things today.
I need to mention that we're on News Talk 1330 Facebook Live, so hopefully your graphics will show up there besides being on 106.3 and 1330.
Yes, exactly. So, so let's kind of take it step by step. So first of all, I know there's been some questions about, what's happening today. When is this event coming in? Well, today we're just going to be under cloudy skies. Highs will get to about around 50. We'll get down into the 40s for lows. So no problems tonight.
So actually a nice day today.
So actually a fairly nice day today. I'll give it about a 6 or 7. I had to throw that one in there, for the young people. But today, no problems. Tomorrow is when we start to see some showers move in. And so then from there, it's really kind of Saturday night into Sunday morning as to whether or not it will be just a cold rain, or if we might see some freezing rain in our area. And really that's a matter of 1 to 2 degrees difference in temperature can make all the difference in the world, essentially, one way or the other, as far as what we're going to see. So I'm going to have Joel pull up my computer here. And so this is kind of one of those models that we're looking at right now. And if those that are watching online can see this is the European model, which tends to be the more reliable model. There
it is. It's up.
Yeah, so it tends to be more of the reliable model in these cold seasons. So we're looking at it right now. This is what it's looking like possibility for today. There, as you can see, there's a few showers here possibly in central Georgia, but for us here in Carroll County, we're going to be dry. Now, as we go through time, and now we're looking at, this is through Friday evening, we're still dry. And then Saturday, as you can see, we start to have a little bit of that moisture in far northern Georgia. So you see that pink area, that's freezing rain. So freezing rain, there's a little bit of a discrepancy sometimes for people between what is sleet, what is freezing rain. Sleet means that's the ice pellets. So that's the little ice pellets that you get. Those show up on these models as pink. Then you have freezing rain. Freezing rain is you step outside, you get wet. It is basically raining, but what happens is surfaces are 32 degrees or below, and it freezes on contact. So we're going to keep stepping through, and as you can see, as we get into Saturday night, this is Saturday at 1 a.m., Sunday at 1 a.m. So as you can see, the pink, the freezing rain is over northeast Georgia and kind of into the Atlanta metro area here. And I'll actually get into a little bit of a zoomed in look here. Let's go to the Atlanta. So as you can see, here's Carroll County right here. And as you can see, that freezing rain is up here on the northeast side of Atlanta. That's what this model is showing. And then as I go further into Sunday morning, so this is 7 a.m., and you can see now that freezing rain has kind of pushed into Douglas County, Paulding County, and you can see it's just right literally on the doorstep of Carroll County.
That's not good.
But, and that's where this has kind of been such an interesting forecast, because now let me jump to the global, the GFS American model. And as you can see, at that same time, they have the freezing rain pushed in a little bit further into Carroll County. If I jump to the Canadian model, that has the freezing rain a little bit back further into the northeast. So you can see why this is such a complicated forecast.
I got a question, because I picked up on this elsewhere, which is, how far this freezing rain goes west is determined in part about the cold weather coming down the Appalachians.
That's correct.
Okay, explain that if you would.
Yeah. So what happens is a lot of times when you have cold seasons like this, you get a setup called what's a cold air wedge, and basically what happens is, let's say you have cold air that's blowing at the Appalachians off the Atlantic Ocean, okay, and it's also combining with winds that are coming down from the northeast. Well, when they hit the Appalachians, they then pull up, and that wind's got to go somewhere. So what happens is that it starts to actually force itself downward. So it starts to force itself down the leeward side, the eastern side of the Appalachians, and that cold air starts to pour in. So if I back out for a second on our model here, if I go back out to the southeast, you can kind of see how that cold air looks like. That's why we're seeing this freezing rain right here, is that cold air. If I jump over here to temperatures, that kind of shows you the idea right there. This is actually temperatures Sunday morning at 7 a.m. And you can see that cold air effect. You've got the Appalachians right here.
Well, that's fascinating, because one of our 7 stations is in East Alabama.
Yep.
And when you're talking about Mount Cheaha and that mountain, that into the Appalachians, I mean, it's really hugely affecting weather.
Yeah. So as you can see, so when that wind, and I drew it up here, so when that wind comes across from the east, or even down from the northeast, what happens is it hits those Appalachian Mountains, and it's got to funnel somewhere. So it funnels in, and you end up with this cold air wedge. And so the question is, so what really is the hang up of this is this: how deep is that cold air wedge going to get?
Right.
And how far south and how far west is it going to go?
Determined in part by the wind speed.
And it's determined in part a little bit by the wind speed. It's determined in part by a multitude of different factors.
Okay.
And so if I jump back, let's see here. I'm going to jump back into the Atlanta region here. So let me go back to what we're looking at. So this is Sunday morning at 7 a.m. So this is again back to, so let me go back to the European. So once we get into Sunday afternoon, you can see now that freezing rain's kind of retreated, and now we're just in kind of a cold rain. Now, as the rain finally wraps up Monday morning around 1 a.m., temperatures are going to drop like a rock behind the system.
Well, that's a whole nother topic.
And that is a whole nother topic.
We'll take a break for a whole nother topic.
Yes.
After these words, we'll be back with weather tracker Kevin Hemphill.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Oak Mountain Academy is a vibrant community built on innovation, academic excellence, and a 64-year legacy of shaping community leaders. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, inviting you to visit the mountain and experience firsthand the passion, purpose, and personalized education that defines our school. Come see how our mission and vision come to life each day. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Gradick, your host. We've got weather tracker Kevin Hemphill in studio, and we're talking about the first severe weather event of the year. Before we kind of go to Monday morning, let's just kind of recap a little bit. So we don't know when this wedge is, or how far this wedge is going to come Sunday morning. So therefore, we don't know exactly at this point whether it's going to be freezing rain, sleet, whatever. But what's the timeline? What will we know, say, 24 hours from now? Then will we have a better gauge on this, or we just really won't know till Sunday morning?
That is the weather forecaster's woe, as I like to call it. It's really about where, and I think if you've been around, if you've been in Georgia or Alabama for a long time, and you've been through winter weather, you know how this kind of ends up working. Is that it all comes down to where that magical line, that boundary, if you will, where it ends up forming at. And we had a time last year where we thought that the blizzard that went through the Gulf Coast states, we thought we might see some snow from that, and we barely saw a flake here.
Well, before we get to Monday morning, my
you're
only
fine.
other question is, so therefore we're confident that the northern line that has all the snow and the serious ice and everything is not going to reach down to West Georgia. Are we confident about that?
We are fairly confident.
I'm
fairly confident. I will say that there is a medium to high confidence that we won't see that in our area. We won't see a very significant ice storm. And when I say significant, I'm talking about a quarter of an inch or higher. Okay. Now, that could all change as if things get cold enough. Now, but let me, I want to flip back to this, if I can go back to my screen here. These are temperatures off the National Blend of Models. So the National Blend of Models is basically what it calls. It's called a blend of models. So it takes all these different weather models and it puts it together and kind of eliminates the outliers and says, okay, this is kind of the consensus, the best consensus. So basically what we're looking at is like 2 o'clock today. Here's Carroll County, 48 degrees. So that's for today. Tomorrow or tonight, we're looking at probably a low around 34. And then for tomorrow morning, and then by tomorrow during the day, we're back up to about 43 degrees. So we're staying above freezing there. The question becomes then what happens Saturday night into Sunday. And as you can see, as we get down to Saturday night into Sunday, you can see that cold wedge setting up. Now we're at 35 right now. That's the forecasted low, but I've seen it even as low as 33. So the possibility of how far deep does this cold wedge get, you can see right here that pretty much the 32 degree line is essentially right here. I think I missed a little bit right here, but essentially right there. So can this rush in a little bit further south? Now, the question being is that's kind of the key as far as what we could see for the freezing rain, possibly Saturday night into Sunday. Now, but right now, if temperatures stay above freezing, we'll just see a cold rain. Now, if I fast forward during the day on Sunday, you can see that it warms up pretty significantly. We get up to 51 on Sunday.
We do.
What's interesting about this, let me show you this. Let me expand out for a second.
Doesn't that change?
Look at the difference in temperature. 51 in Carrollton, 62 in Columbus. There's actually the potential Sunday for actually a marginal risk of severe storms over southern Georgia and southern Alabama. So not in our area, but we could hear a rumble of thunder here, but there is a chance for severe weather to the south of us. So you're talking ice storm to the north, and just on the other, and then just to the south, you're talking possibility of some severe weather. Thunderstorms. So, but then after we get through Sunday, temperatures will drop like a rock. Now, I showed you earlier how the rain was going to be ending Monday morning at 1 a.m., or the rain was going to end roughly around midnight, 1 a.m. Well, Sunday morning, Sunday evening at 10 o'clock, we're at 38. By 1 a.m. Monday morning, we're at 30 degrees.
I got a question.
Yes.
So if on Sunday we're in the 50s, and then we go down to the low 30s Monday morning, the asphalt and the roadways and everything have been pretty well warm for the past 24 hours or so.
Yes.
There's a but.
Yes. But right now we're forecasted to have anywhere from 1.5 to 3 inches of rain from this system. If the rain's ending at 1 a.m. and temperatures are drop immediately to 30 degrees at 1 a.m., you get a setup called flash freeze, where immediately, even though the roads have been above freezing for most of the day, there are still areas, especially shaded areas, especially areas that have pooled up water, that could actually freeze just like that. By 1 a.m., we're at 30 degrees. If I go further, 4 a.m., 25 degrees. We're heading for a low of 20 degrees for 7 a.m. We're actually, right now, our forecasted low is actually 18 degrees for Monday morning.
So with all that's been said, and everybody's, all the bread shelves are empty already, basically the real critical part of this is Monday morning, particularly if somebody's got to commute to work. What's going to happen?
Exactly. And the thing about it is as I move forward, and we're going to go back to the screen one more time. As I move forward in time, Monday, we're looking at a high of possibly anywhere from 30 to 32 degrees.
Ew.
By Tuesday morning, we're back down, and we're actually close to about 12 degrees. So, for a low. So, there's a possibility that we could actually stay below freezing from Sunday night into, or Sunday night, early Monday morning into Tuesday morning. So and then temperatures will rebound above freezing. We look to be around 36 to 40 for a high temperature on Tuesday. So we're looking at possibly an extended period of extreme cold weather below freezing.
Tell me how high on Tuesday again? I'm sorry. I missed that.
40, roughly about 36 to 40 degrees.
And so that's not going to melt any of this, whatever is languishing or is still around. You're not going.
It's very possible.
It's not going to melt real quickly.
Not real quickly, no.
Well, on that bit of cheery news, let's take a break, and we'll be back with more with Mr. Positive weather tracker Kevin Hemphill.
Imagine a place where every heartbeat is monitored with the utmost care, where emergencies are met with swift attention, and where cutting-edge technology enables precise and timely treatments. At Tanner Health, every patient's journey is a testament to resilience, a story of strength, healing, and hope. We go beyond treatment to redefine what compassionate care truly means. That's Tanner Health. That's care redefined. Learn more at tanner.org.
Do the math. At Oak Mountain Academy, our average graduating class has just 12 students. We celebrate a 100% graduation rate with more than $10.5 million in college scholarships offered. Plus, 96% of our students are accepted into their top choice college. Do the math. Can you see the value of an OMA education? I'm Patrick Uran, head of school at Oak Mountain Academy, and I'm here to help you do the math. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us so that you can discover your journey on the mountain, where every path leads to purpose.
All right, we're back with Weather Tracker Kevin Hemphill, and we're just full of good news. And all right, what's next, Kevin?
So once again, I want to highlight the temperatures real quick. So I'm going to switch back one more time to my screen. So this is currently what we're kind of forecasting for temperatures for the next several days. So this is starting today, high of 49. Saturday, we have a high of 43, a low of 32. Sunday, you can see we have that high of 50 with a low of 32. So that's the 32 that we start at on Sunday morning. Then Monday morning.
So the lows are the blues.
The lows are the blues, yes.
Okay.
And so Monday morning, you can see that Monday morning we start at 18. Ooh. We get to a high of maybe 30 to 32 degrees. So somewhere around there. So again, staying possibly staying below freezing all the way through Monday, during the day on Monday, dropping down to 11 on Tuesday. Some of the colder pockets could even see single digits. And we get to a high of 36 on Tuesday, back down to 19 on Wednesday, a high of 40. And as you can see, we actually have highs in the mid to upper 30s through the rest of the week, temperature lows in the teens to 20s, mostly in the teens, really. So we are set up for a very extended cold period, even beyond the system. So I will say this: the bottom line I think anyone can take away from this is that today we're fine, cloudy skies, temperatures in the 50s. Tonight, fine as well. Now, Saturday, during the day, we'll be fine. Like I said, temperatures in the 40s. Saturday night into Sunday morning. Cold rain, definitely likely. Is it possible that we could see freezing rain mixed in at some point? There is that possibility if that cold air wedge can sink far enough south. Now, Sunday, as you can see, we jump back well above freezing, which that's why I'm not as concerned that if we do see some freezing rain overnight, Saturday night into Sunday, I'm not as concerned about the impacts there. It's the impacts following the event, going Monday night or going into Sunday night into Monday morning, of having possibly a flash freeze event with black ice possible Monday morning, and sticking with us pretty much all the way through at least Tuesday morning, if not beyond that, into Tuesday afternoon, maybe even into Wednesday.
Josh, if you could, we'd like to go to 905 if we could, please. We can't really, as radio stations, not talk about, you mentioned black ice. Mm-hmm. So Monday morning would be the really the hazardous time. That's when we could see power outages, tree limbs falling, et cetera, or what's your thoughts of that?
Well, Monday morning, there is the possibility that you could see those, but in this kind of situation, it depends on a lot of those elevated surface power lines, trees. While they'll be wet, there really hasn't been that much of accumulation. So I would not be as concerned with power outages and trees on Monday morning. It's more about the travel. It's more about the
black
roads.
Ice is defined as what? Go ahead and define it for us.
So black ice is essentially just a sheet of ice over the road that essentially really blends in with the road. It looks like you look like you're seeing road, but it's actually a thin sheet of ice that is over top of the road surface. And it's clear. So the reason why it's called black ice is because, well, it's clear and it's basically just a thin sheet of ice, and you won't even see it. It's not something that is like because asphalt, it has texture to it. That glaze can get on that texture. So what you're looking at, you might see, and it looks, oh, well, this road looks good, and it just looks wet. But what it's actually is it's actually frozen ice, and you're still seeing the texture of the road. You're still seeing the texture of the asphalt, but it is a solid sheet of ice that is over top of that texture. And so that's where some of those travel issues come into play.
So no matter how much tread you have on your tires, it really doesn't matter.
That is very possible.
Okay. Huh. So we don't know. I mean, that's possible for Monday morning, and, it may happen, may not, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay. Let's take a moment or two. Well, so you kind of capped it for us, but what if you had to put it down in a core takeaway, just a core takeaway? Don't worry about anything until Sunday night, Monday morning. Is that fair enough to say?
I would say still be prepared for the possibility of freezing rain Sunday morning. But, sorry. I would say still be prepared for the possibility of freezing rain, possibly some freezing rain Saturday night into Sunday morning. Is it looking more likely that it's just going to be a cold rain? Yes. But Georgia, it's Georgia. Weather can change on a dime.
We don't know.
So, so it's one of those things where there is still that possibility, although it's not as much of a possibility as it was, there is still that possibility. I mean, when you see a low of 32 Sunday morning, that's right at freezing. Mm-hmm. So if that temperature drops another 2 degrees and that low ends up being 30, well, then yes, you're going to have some freezing rain probably at some point. But with it getting to above 50, getting up to 50 on Sunday, that might negate that. But still be prepared for it just in case. So I would say travel could be an issue overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning, but maybe not so much during the day on Sunday. But the travel definitely will be an issue come Monday.
It's important. A lot of people go to church on Sunday, and I know a lot of churches are like waiting and watching to see if they want to cancel services or not. Mm-hmm. So,
and that's going to be kind of one of those things which that one really is just going to be kind of a wait and see.
It's going to be on the church.
It's going to be, it's really going to be probably you won't really know anything until probably late Saturday night, Sunday morning onto what that's going to look like. And I did want to mention real quick that I neglected to mention that there is going to be some gusty winds behind the system.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. So, how does that impact everything?
Well, the gusty winds, obviously during the rain, if you will, the cold rain, that's just going to make it a little bit more miserable.
When you say gusty winds, are we talking like what, 20, 30 miles per hour?
20 to 30 mile per hour gusts. Sustained winds, probably 5 to 10 miles per hour with gusts up to 20 to 30 miles per hour. Now, where the winds can kind of come into play is Sunday night, Monday morning. Can the winds dry out some of this before the temperatures drop? So there is still that possibility.
What's the answer to that question?
But right now, as quickly as the temperatures are filtering in behind the rain,
that's a great question, though.
It's very hard.
It's possible the winds could dry everything out Sunday night.
There is that possibility.
Okay.
But
don't count on it.
That's what makes this such a tricky forecast. Yeah, it really does.
That's why you get the big bucks. In 60 seconds, we're launching a brand new Facebook page, Gradick Weather, correct?
Yes. So
tell us about it in 60 seconds.
Yep. So we have a brand new weather page. You can find out. I'll have updates. I'm going to try to have at least 2 updates today on that page. It's facebook.com/Gradick Weather.
Okay, sounds good. Well, Weather Tracker Kevin Hemphill, thank you for coming in. Thank you for all that you do and keeping your own 7 stations 7 days a week.
Yes, 7 stations.
Nobody else has
7 days a week.
Nobody has that claim to fame. All right, and we thank you for listening. And remember the Gradick Weather Facebook page. Tell the address of that again.
It's facebook.com/Gradick Weather.
Okay, cool. And share this little community voice program, and hopefully it will be as very much on target. We thank you for listening and for watching, and go out and make it a great day. You're in tune to WLBV Carrollton.